Yeah, I
Sounds
think we can do that.
No worries.
So you want to get started, sir?
Yeah, may as well. I'll just go with the normal intro. So GM, you crazy based heads. My name is Gerry, and welcome to another Based Space, a place for the Based Heads community to come together and discuss all the happenings at BasedAF HQ, Web3, and the broader metaverse. Today, I'm joined by Harshith, but before I introduce him, if you're new here and you're wondering what BasedAF is, here's my elevator pitch. BasedAF is a content creation studio with a focus around the metaverse and emerging technologies, with the intent to produce viral content to rival the likes of Mr. Beast. Think of it like MTV, but for the metaverse. And it's powered by the BasedHeads, a set of digital collectibles with untold powers, your virtual backstage pass, where you can star in the action, help shape the narrative, and even share in the spoils. Thanks so much for joining me. Normally I would get Michelle to do a quick rundown on the space today, but we've run into a bit of some complications with people being able to get here today and a few clashes with other spaces. So we'll probably change the format somewhat today and keep it a bit more short and sweet. So I'm just going to dive straight into what's happened in the last week with BasedAF. So a quick sort of summary of everything that's gone on behind the scenes. So last week, the guys released their Paris NFT video. So if you're curious about that event, the BasedAF team went there.
Hello and welcome to NFT Paris.
And they created a lot of content around it and a bit of sort of tomfoolery and creating a bit of drama within the space as well to make it quite funny and entertaining. So jump onto the BasedAF YouTube channel and check that out. It's really worth watching, even if you're just curious as how the event went itself. It's definitely worth the watch. It's only about, I think, 11 minutes long. The guys have also been working on the mocap studio, and just in the last 24 hours in the Discord have leaked some footage on what they've been working on there, and it's pretty impressive stuff. So go check that out on the BasedAF Discord. Basically, they're setting up a motion capture studio using the same technology that the guys at Avatar made for all of their content, and it really is fascinating to see. Robin actually shared a video with me that hasn't been sort of made more public yet, and it shows a couple of the girls there in the mocap studio in the suits playing like knick-knack paddywhack, and watching them sort of high-five each other was kind of a draw drop moment for me, because you can really see the human element of it, and that sort of surprised me, just the subtlety of someone, high-fiving someone else and how precise it was. Definitely, it looks incredible, so I can't wait to see how they go with that. At the moment, they're working on face expression and face capture to make that more precise, because without an additional camera pointed directly at your face, it loses a lot of that context and subtlety. So they're working on that at the moment. That's a big effort. And they're also working with trying to basically synchronize the in real life camera positioning to the in-world camera positioning, because you basically run around with an in real life camera, but it's like it's within the virtual environment of the digital setting. So it's pretty fascinating stuff to see. It's going to be unreal seeing how what they can produce in sort of maybe 6 months' time once they've got this fully down pat. I know that they're working on trying to find a bigger space for them all to move into as the team grows. So that's been a big lot of work trying to find the right environment to physically move into as well. So that's one thing that's also taken a bit of time. Also, the creative director Curb, he's the man behind all the actual imagery that you see, the digital stuff that you'll see within Trashland and the brands, all the branding. That's done by Curb. He's been working with several artists around the creation of a profile picture. So more like a headshot artwork of our based heads, so we can start rocking them in social media and start spreading awareness that way. So it's been a bit of a long process, and it sounds like it's still going to take some time to get the right artworks and the right artists involved, and then to redraw the full 10,000 collection as a more PFP-centric artwork. So that's something to look forward to as well. Also, Robin has mentioned that they're looking to integrate long-form podcasts as another vertical for BasedAF. And as we talked about last week, and as was sort of discussed in the Paris NFT video, they introduced Luke Franks as a new team member, and he has his own Metaverse podcast as it stands. So, and he's also had experience with dating podcasts as well for the BBC. So I fully expect that's probably going to be something that Luke's quite involved with, both the podcast and dating show content. So Just on that, this week I think we can expect a dating show, a Metaverse dating show video content to drop. So that'll be really fun to see what has happened there. And we've seen Luke dropping a bunch of videos now on TikTok and on YouTube. If you haven't checked out the TikTok ones, I had a look at them this morning, and there's 3 or 4 of them on there, and they're honestly like proper laugh out loud moments. At least they were for me. Luke's being really creative with his VR headset, jumping on like the London Underground tube system and pretending to be in meetings in the metaverse, and seeing people's reactions to him and what he's doing was really funny. He then goes on a virtual date in a pub wearing his VR headset, and you just see passers-by on the street laughing at him and starting to film him. So it's kind of cool seeing other people filming some of the shenanigans he's getting up to. So I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody else, their video of Luke actually popping up somewhere on the internet, maybe even going viral, which would be quite funny. Given the whole thing is a bit of a piss take. He was even doing some like, juggling in the street like a busker, and people were filming him just like, what the hell is this guy doing? So that was really interesting. Another thing that sort of bubbled up in the last week is this whole project is a bit of a choose your own adventure for Robin and the team, because the metaverse is so loosely defined, no one really knows what it is yet. So that gives them a lot of power to shift into other focus areas and growth areas. So one thing they're sort of thinking about is future human content. I'm not even sure really what that means yet. I guess a lot of us don't, but it's an area for growth, where robotics and how that's going to interact with the future of humanity. All these extra things that a lot of us probably aren't across yet. So that'll be really interesting. And they're also diving deep into artificial intelligence, because it's just blowing up everywhere. It's the growth story right now. So it makes sense that they explore that. So they've been trying different AI products and creating content, or look to create content around the results. But they're also doing it to see if the AI itself is a way that they can streamline their own content creation, but also use it as the topic of the content. So that could be quite interesting. Robin was working with some software called Be Human.
Be Human is a unique AI that clones your face and voice and then generates thousands of video messages for you.
And if you check out their website, it's pretty crazy, the power of it. The whole idea is that you can create like a single video and then use AI to tailor it to thousands of individual people. So it feels like the video has been personalized just for them, and it's done so well that you can't tell the difference already. So the power of AI is just insane. And it's going to be really interesting to see, how that evolves over the coming months and years. And probably the last thing with the update is they're still hard at work on two games, similar to what we saw with the Bored Ape Yacht Club with Dookie Dash. So there's the Dildo Dash game, which is, basically a great big piss take. Check out the announcement in the Discord around the lore of the shaft, which we'll be competing to climb up against to get to the top and win a nice juicy prize, probably going to be a mutant ape from the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So that'll be interesting. And then following that, they're going to try and have another game that drops basically straight after to help capture that momentum that hopefully the Dildo Dash game generates. And it was the original game they were working on before the Dildo Dash concept came out of the community. And that one's called the Dreadmill. So you'll be running on some sort of treadmill that probably eats you up at the end if you make a mistake or something like that. So that'll be fun to check out and just to keep on top of. So as you can see, we've gone for nearly 10 minutes just me talking about everything they've done in the last week. There's just so much going on, and it's hard to keep on top of, which is why we want to do these spaces and keep this content and flow of information going for everyone, because it is just so much to stay on top of. Is there anything in there, Harshith, that you wanted to dive into and explore further?
Yeah, I think firstly about what's happening with the shorts and all the content that's coming up on Instagram. I think that's pretty sick, because what we've seen is Luke literally wearing a headgear, the VR headset, and then he's sitting in a metro and he's literally attending calls, which is like close to what's really going to happen in the near future, right? And now we might make fun of it, but honestly, I think that's how it's going to be, right? The merge of AR and VR, and that's exactly how it's going to be. And plus bringing the BasedHeads Metaverse and how BasedEF is going to play this around. That's something that's going to be pretty cool to watch. And if you guys are Sixers, we have these snippets and videos that Supermassive and the internal team is posting of everything that's going behind the scenes. I mean, that is pretty cool to look at because these videos are just super amazing. I mean, the metaverse, how they're building it, the clarity and how it's coming across, it's very nice. And also some mocap stuff, some mind-blowing mocap stuff that Supermassive's doing. And I think the best way to stay on top of it is, I think it's just to have BasedAF on the Twitter notifications. And if you're a Sixer, I think it's great to get your Sixer role and then your channel so that you can see all these snippets coming in. I mean, I don't want to reveal a lot if you're not a Sixer, but I'm still going to say it. So the latest one here, it says, testing goes on, figuring out how the world camera and physical camera is to set same height and rotation and feed for a picture to each other. I don't know what that is, maybe some technical terms about camera and rendering. But yeah, there's a video also of Karma walking around in the street, which is pretty cool, right? So,
yeah, it really is crazy. Yeah, there it is. Like even like the I don't even notice Harshith, but even like the shoes, like you can see when
shoes, yes.
Robin's like, in the mocap suit, and it's even precise enough to see when he's rocking back on his heel and down to his toes.
Exactly.
Like that's kind of freaky to see that. I mean, and they only just started getting this thing optimized, so pretty cool.
Yep. And I'm still wondering who is that wearing that mocap and shaking their ass, but
I'm pretty sure it's Robin. Like if you turn the audio right up, you can hear Robin talking about his ass being smaller than his ass is bigger than Karma's one in the renders. So pretty funny stuff, and it's just going to be so much fun. And like you're going to be able to, BasedHeads probably going to appear at times as a guest in certain content. Like I'm sure they'll make that part of the contest. Where we're choosing Gerry's BasedHead, and it's going to be one of the stars of the show in this particular segment or whatever they're shooting, and that's just another way to drive engagement. I mean, how cool would it be to see your own PFP, running around in the metaverse doing all this crazy stuff? So it's going to be really fun to see all that unfold.
Yep. 100%.
And it won't just be BasedHeads too. Like that's another cool thing. You might get a guest that Robin's friends with that's out of the Clone X community. And their clone here in the metaverse in Trashland running around with Karma doing all this crazy stuff. So that's just another sort of growth strategy to sort of propagate sideways and outwards within just the Web3 community. And then once we start to get to a higher scale and just normal people start watching us, they'll be like, hey, what's this cool character? That's really cool. I like the look of that. What is that? Oh, that's a Bored Ape, or that's a fluff. Or a clone, and then that's another way to sort of broaden the understanding of what NFTs are and, some of the value prop behind them. I know it's still very early, but being able to see that interoperability and all these cool different IP brands that are now out there as part of Web3 collections is going to be a really fun way to help hopefully get people to come down this rabbit hole with us as to what Web3 is and what it's all about and why we're here. I'm just trying to think what else is there to cover. So, I mean, what's something that you've seen this week, Harshith, that you're interested in from a Web3 point of view? Something else that's sprung up. I know you were mentioning Amazon's now doing something with NFTs. I haven't really followed up on that, to be honest.
Yes. So, Amazon is actually launching their own NFT marketplace. I believe it's on the 24th of April. All right. So Michelle is also here. I think we can, if Michelle is able to speak, we can have her on the speaker stage as well. But yes, Amazon is doing this, and the way I got to know this is the moment Supermassive tweeted about it, and the way he tweeted was like super funny because he said there are a lot of people who are just gonna write like massive threads, but it is what it is. You can just learn from the title. So, yep.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see, more details around it. I haven't actually read up on it myself, but I'm curious, what blockchain tech are they going to be using? Who have they partnered with? Is it something that's completely in-house that they've generated themselves? Or is it a private blockchain? Who knows? To be honest, half of Ethereum runs on Amazon Web Services anyway, doesn't it? So It's kind of interesting to see, this movement from some of these, massive Web 2 companies slowly starting to adopt Web 3 now.
Yeah.
How you going there?
I think it's going
How you going, Michelle? I see Michelle's now joined us as a speaker.
Hi.
How's things?
Hello.
So sorry, I had a tenant emergency. We had, those things that you see on the internet where they have the big paint bubbles that are full of water?
Oh, yeah? Was that in one of your properties that you've got like tenants in?
It was the one above us.
Oh, jeez.
So I had to strategically do some engineering and figure out where to stab the paint bubble appropriately so water doesn't cascade everywhere.
How'd you go?
It went pretty well. I'm pretty proud of my engineering skills. No water on the floor.
Awesome. Fantastic. Top effort.
Yeah. Oh man. So we talk about the Amazon thing. Like, how crazy is that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I wonder. It said 15 collections. Is that a rumor, or was that was that confirmed?
It
I
was
haven't even
rumor, but
so
let's say 15.
15 is it? So what? Like they're going to have like 15 major existing Web 3 NFT projects listed, are they? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I think so. That's what the article said, but nothing's really confirmed. So they actually built this even before. They wanted to launch it in 2022, but then SBF happened, so of course they had to delay it.
Yeah. Lots of shit got delayed because of that, I think. Yeah, and it wouldn't have been a good time. And it's actually really interesting because Coinbase, apparently they spent $400 million on their NFT marketplace. And that launched about a year ago. That's been running, but they've just canned it. They've given up. They're pulling the pin. So I don't know. It's really, really interesting. I wonder if Amazon's going to get any sort of traction. I guess it's just going to raise awareness on those 15 collections. That's probably the really bullish thing for those particular projects. We'll have to get BasedHeads on there. What's Robin been doing? Come on.
Freaking slacker. I mean, he was in NFT Paris, what, like 5 days ago?
Yeah, I know. He's working like crazy. I had a little bit of a video chat with him real briefly, and he just looks knackered, to be honest.
Oh man,
he's working his butt off, that's for sure. So
yeah, they're traveling all around. They're gonna ETH Denver's coming up too, isn't it? Or ETH Denver just happened?
Well, I think it just happened. Yeah. There was some comparisons around like some actual performers who performed live at that event, singing some I don't know, pretty lame ass song. I mean, I don't mean to disrespect them, but it just didn't hold a candle to what Robin and Tom did with Meat in terms of the musical qualities of it. And pretty interesting to compare those two.
They didn't even have a keytar.
No. You gotta have a keytar, especially in the metaverse, right?
Right. Oh, we have Bradley here. We have Excaperts and Snow, Matt, Freestyle.
Yep.
Tools.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, everyone. For a while there, I was a little worried it was just going to be me and Harshith, and we were thinking of pulling the pin. But no, thanks. I'm glad we persisted with it. So even though it's only small numbers, you got to start somewhere with any project, and it's sort of, the people that are here now, that's your true community, and the guys that are in the base Discord now. Like if this thing blows up, like all of us think it will, in 2 years' time, like you'll remember the people that were here early and were committed to the project. And it's the same with any Web3 project. I know Bradley, he's working on one at the moment, and I'm in that Discord thanks to Michelle. And it's just like, I don't know, being surrounded by quality people in the space, you do get network effects by being well connected and just following, the people that you vibe with.
Yeah, I've over the years I've come up with this really great community of people, and it was really surprising to me how many new great people I met in BasedHeads as well. All in one spot. Usually I pick up like 2 or 3 people per server, but I've met some really great people and had some really great conversations, including all of you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed my mate Matt is in the crowd there, and he's rocking his party bear from the Fluff community. Hey Matt, are you free to chat? Feel free to jump up on stage and join us. I know you've got some stuff in the works coming up soon that you might want to chat about, and I know that law writing and content creation and story writing is a big part of what you guys are doing. I'll just bring you up on stage. Alrighty, hey Matt, how you doing, mate?
That darn delay.
So good. He's on mute at the moment. I did just put him on the spot. He might be in an elevator somewhere. Who knows?
No. It just jumped to my headphones there. No, thanks for the introduction. Lovely to meet the rest of you. I'm actually just back from like a bit of my day job. We just had a work drink, so I don't know if I'll be the most congruent today of all.
No, that's perfect. Get on prize, mate. Good.
But yeah, no, lovely to be on the space and get to meet the rest of you. So I've been on here with Gerry before, just around one of the kind of projects on the edge of the Futureverse that we were helping out with, which is the Bethesda, the historian stuff. So he had a product called It's Not Worth That. But yeah, no, generally really happy about everything that Robin's doing at the moment. I have three BasedHeads myself at the moment. I'd say that's something that I'll be making my way up to a sixer. But no, I've always found like Robin quite an interesting person, and just having even just interacted with him a couple of times in the space, you can tell that there's so much to him. And I guess being on a chat like this is quite interesting, because I know his view of like how lore and stuff is created. Mine's usually a bit more structured, but his kind of views are very like, you create like the infrastructure and then the community create within that. And I guess that's that's kind of who a lot of the people on this call are. So yeah, really nice to meet the rest of you.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for popping up, Matt. What are you actually working on at the moment? I think you've got a new project that's coming that maybe, I don't know if you can talk about it or not yet.
No, so I can talk about it a bit at the moment. So me and my friend started a company called Olive, and that's the Irish for like the highest of. So we used to have the Olive Reeves, which used to be like our high kings and everything. And essentially our first project, it's quite focused, and really what we're doing is we're retelling one of the oldest Irish mythologies. So one of the oldest Irish core texts was this thing that was written by a monk called the Book of Invasions, and it essentially is just like this story where I guess like even for islands prehistory, all we really have as like our oldest records are the things that the church let us have. And so it says that like our founder was a woman called Kessa, who was descended from Noah. She was like his granddaughter or something. And then it also says that all the people she came to Europe or came to Ireland with were like descendants of different Europeans countries. So really it's like what they were trying to do was really just try to allow Ireland to become part of this kind of Catholic fold and become part of the Catholic family. And we've always had like oral traditions in our country which have kind of passed these stories down or different stories down at the same time. And so what we're trying to do at the moment is we're retelling the Book of Invasions as the first part of it, and we're creating a platform for kind of all things Irish. But to start with, we're really just focusing on the myths. So we're retelling the Book of Invasions, where we're telling the kind of Christian stories, which are the most recorded ones, but then also introducing like Ireland's like true founding story and stuff, which is actually more to do with like our mother goddesses and things. So it's something where I've been really lucky in the people around me and people I've been able to reach out to with this, especially one of the person who's writing it, this guy Cathal Holden. And yeah, we're basically retelling those stories. We're going to sell some like audiobooks around it and some NFTs, but they're going to be very much like an open edition. You kind of just like, you buy the Book of Invasions, and as we have different pieces of it, you'll get access to that. But we're also going to have the content available for free on like YouTube. We'll be putting it, letting Gerry show some of it and other things as well. But it's very much, we want the content to be out there as much as possible. It's really what we're starting with. And then at some stage, we actually do plan to get into more of the kind of the meta star space and stuff. But personally don't particularly like the word metastar. I'd prefer if we could like redefine that word, just because it kind of seems lamer than the actual creators involved, you know.
Well, what's your take on it, Matt? How would you like it to see it framed? Like, what's your perspective around
I
metastars?
haven't found the right term, and this is only like a semantics argument. Like, I love the way, you know, people are coming forward and everything else, and being able to build their own brands and have control over that. That's all amazing. Semantics only. Like, I don't know, something that leans more into like its cyberpunk roots in the term, I feel like would be more appropriate for what it would end up being. I feel like metastar, like, you know, out of the word metaverse, my favorite part is the universe. And it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It just kind of feels like they picked a few random words and put them up there.
Especially since like Facebook's rebranded to Meta, it kind of just, in a way, it makes everything feel a little dirty somehow, doesn't it?
It does a little bit. And yeah, I guess like my own interest in crypto and stuff started before I knew what the word crypto was, in the sense of my favorite books as a kid were all like Snow Crash, and, you know, all the kind of books by people who've been writing about things that happen to have the space in the background, which I've always found very fascinating.
Yeah, interesting.
That's amazing. And did you see the Snow Crash sword?
I saw that. It's like, I wish it was like 5 years time. I'd make enough money to get it, but if Robin ever gets that sword, like that should be a pitch to Robin. We should get Robin to get that sword for the community.
It's just a one of one, isn't it? It's just one of them.
It is, and it's like the coolest thing in the world.
It is. Bomb someone. You're going to have to compete with some mega whales for that, I imagine.
Oh, man, I would not stand a chance.
Yeah.
Same. I want it, though. That doesn't change how much I want it.
I know. No,
completely irrational, but I still want it.
It's amazing. That was like, that was always one of my favorite books. And then when I started getting into the space and stuff, it was interesting seeing it pop up, because I've ended up just rereading it a load of times since, just to, like, you know, understand more about what's kind of coming.
Yeah, I've never actually read it. I've heard it referenced so many times, so I really need to pull my finger out there. I'm not much of a book reader, but
it's,
you know, it was like, what, 30 years ago, wasn't it, when it was written, pretty much?
Yeah, I would say it's one of my favorite tech books. One of the other ones is, what was it? It was one of the Charles Strauss books, Accelerando. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read that, but that's like got the most insane views on like, I guess like how cyborgs come about, in the sense of it's got kind of like little things, like you'd be like, okay, well, you know, I want to remember more or compete with the AIs that are in the world, so I might store certain memories off site and stuff. And it's like cloud computing is actually kind of like the first steps of it. But I'd really recommend the Accelerando book. It kind of goes from like, it goes through 3 different generations, all set in the future, where it's kind of like starts by getting into this person who has like, you know, kind of cyborg attachments, and then it moves a bit further into like complete energy consciousness and computing consciousness and stuff. It's all very bizarre stuff, but Charles Strauss is he'd be up there with the author of Snow Crash there on my faves.
That sounds fantastic. I'm gonna have to put this on my list. Appreciate it.
For sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how much of this stuff actually comes true, and because a lot of stuff that has been forecast actually seems to be, you know, trending in that direction. And
that's my favorite. Sorry, and I'll just
Gerry,
cut across one more time, because I know I'm hogging the mic here.
You're right.
But
not at all.
One of my favorite views of technology and like literature is basically this, like when I was younger, I'd read books about 30 years out. You know what I mean? They talk about things that could exist in the future, and, you know, fair enough, their main idea usually doesn't exist, but all the things in the background, you know, like we'd reach the stage where, like, you know, you can think of something and it can exist within 30 years. Like, if you think about like human society over time and stuff, you know, it's taken thousands of years. Like, think about like, I don't know, there's been lots of people who've like wanted to create things but not had the technology around them to be able to, like Da Vinci and like helicopters and stuff. You know, he was able to draw it. It took like 300 years for that to be a reality. We reached the stage when, like, you know, people our age and stuff were born, where it was just, you know, 30, 40 years from when you could think of something and when it could exist. I think we're getting to the stage where, you know, maybe it's not ourselves, maybe it's Gerry's kids, but, you know, there's going to be certain people very soon who they think of something and they can make it exist within a lot shorter a time frame, you know, something like, because of the way it's gone exponentially anyway. And that's kind of one of my favorite ideas of singularity, is the idea of innovation singularity, which is that you get to a stage where because there's so much preceding tech behind you and everything, and you can literally think of the future and make it exist. Do you know what I mean? Because there's like, because of the exponential growth. So I'm going to stop hogging the mic after that, but that was the last thing I wanted to share there.
I think it's pretty topical anyway, Matt. Like, even just with the tone of some of the stuff Robin's been saying in the Discord is sort of like, well, you know, 3 months ago this was a metaverse thing. Maybe it's much more than that suddenly because of this exponential growth in technology. It's just insane. So, and there's so little understanding around it that you can almost, you know, pick whatever you want, whatever Robin sees as being interesting and topical, he can make content around.
Oh yeah, especially with the AI allowing for so many different things, you know? I mean, even just kicking out the videos, and I mean, imagine having a mocap studio in your office even 5 years ago.
Ah, yeah, it's insane, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah,
especially with AI, like you can just type something and they can create videos now. It's insane.
Oh yeah. We had, like, I've been playing with Midjourney, and you know, Futureverse is making AI music and AI object creation and AI token creation. Like, it's wild when you think about it, and it's going to democratize art and creation in an amazing way, and it's super exciting actually. Like, imagine everybody in the world who has an internet connection able to create basically anything they want. Like, even movies, right? Like the AI with the movies, where I think, unfortunately, I think it was Facebook or Meta that made, you can just type in like a cat flying through the air with dragon wings eating a piece of pizza, and it will spit out a video, a realistic looking video, a realistic looking cat flying through the sky. I mean, it's not, you know, it's very early in its infancy, but still, like, that's crazy that you can do that. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the image one. So now that we have one that's going to be able to make movies, like, that's just wild. It's wild. Oh, and Bradley actually put the Midjourney bot in the fingers as the CCW3 server. Bradley, do you want to come up and speak? You're more than welcome to.
How does that work in Discord? Like, anyone in that Discord can use it? How do you pay for, like, you know, the usage of it within a Discord?
I have no idea. That's why I was hoping to drag Bradley up.
Yeah, cool.
I've seen it in a few Discords, but I've never actually used it in another Discord.
And now a quick word from our sponsors that make the show possible. Are you building something cool in Web3? And would you like to get in front of the eyes and minds in one of the most engaged and loyal communities around, the Fluffle? Well, hit me up on my Twitter DMs, as the channel is now seeking its first round of official sponsors. Alternatively, you can support my Patreon, or you can buy me a coffee. Oh shit. But if your liquidity is also run dry, fear not, because there's some things you can do for free, and it all makes a difference. You can hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, and share this with your friends. I'd really appreciate it, and it helps support the channel. So with all that out of the way, let's get back to the show.
I think my understanding of that, and again, it could be quite wrong there, but my understanding was that once your Discord has a certain number of people in it, you're allowed to add it as a feature. And I'm not 100% sure whether it uses like your own credits from your Midjourney account individually when you're accessing it, or whether it's like there's a collective amount or something, but it doesn't seem to stop everyone, you know. So I think it's probably a case of like maybe you're still using your own limits, because I think I've still run out of Midjourney prompts myself on the OX Thulu one and a couple of other places they have it.
Yep. Okay, interesting. Yep. I still haven't sort of delved into it much myself yet. I feel like it's another rabbit hole I don't want to explore because I'll never come out of it.
Oh, you won't. You won't. I started using it for my in real life project. We needed images for a deck for something that just doesn't exist yet, you know, and very specific to the brand.
Oh, so on a deck, you should check out tome.app, TOME.app. It's literally AI pitch decks.
Yeah.
It's
no.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, that one.
It's great.
I'll be so happy not to make decks anymore. That'd be amazing. Decks are the bane of corporate existence sometimes. Sometimes they're amazing.
Yeah, I think with it, you still have to like make the deck, but it's a case of you can give the sheet like 3 prompts, and then between those 3 prompts, you'll get the page you really want, you know? So you still like fine tune it a bit.
That's cool. I'll have to try it out.
It can also, you put in a sentence and it can extend the sentence, so it can make it more flowery, or it can like shorten the sentence as well. There's loads of mad stuff, and it uses DALL-E for the images too. Very cool.
Interesting.
I don't work for them, by the way. I know I just gave it a very serious pitch there, but
I've tried DALL-E a little bit. DALL-E's images aren't quite as photorealistic, especially for people.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
From what I've seen. And so I found that Midjourney, because it's an immersive thing, so I had to have like people in this weird freaking environment, and it was spot on. Like I did like, you know, a group of tourists walking through, and one funny thing though is I did have to type in multicultural, because otherwise it was just these like all flaxen haired, all similar looking children of the corn looking people. But once I put in multicultural, you know, it came back with a breadth of people, and like the level of detail and minutia, like some of them, you know, they all had different body types, and like their faces were pretty good. They look a little like, you know, Uncanny Valley-ish, but from behind you wouldn't tell. Like they've got hair out of place, and like the backpacks and different types of backpacks, and some of them were open. So it was really funny. But I went on that wormhole for like 3 days, just kicking out images. I definitely got my money's worth on those days, and I was so impressed. But you just get lost in it, and like it kicks out some stuff, and you're like, where did that come from? What is this? And it gets an attitude too sometimes. Like sometimes you'll just keep putting stuff in. Like I put one image in, and I was like, you know, remove people, less people, like those kind of prompts. And it added a whole crowd of people. Like it was like walking through a packed airport or a packed city street. So, you know, it's funny how it takes its own twists and turns at times.
Yeah, but before you joined us, Michelle, I'm not sure how much you caught, but I know Robin has brought up AI a lot in the last week, and it sounds like they're going to be trying to get weekly content around some form of AI as well, which I think is, you know, clever, because it's just blowing up everywhere on social media and all the platforms. So it'd be quite interesting to see what sort of format those videos take, if it's going to be, you know, more educational than sort of entertaining and comedy, and more serious about this AI tool does X, Y, Z, and this is how we used it, or if it's going to be more just creating, you know, stuff that's been in the current theme of BasedAF, where it's a bit tongue-in-cheek and a bit more playful and fun. So it'll be quite interesting to see what the team come out with the AI stuff.
Oh yeah, to see, you know, all these tools and a whole team that's focused on creative, I think that'll be really interesting. Because, you know, just some of the stuff that the team comes up with, I'm just like, that's so absurd. Yeah, it works so well.
Yeah, I guess as the team scales out, they might even have like, you know, an individual AI person that just does AI content. Sounds like, you know, getting Luke in, he's doing some of the short form TikTok type stuff that's actually, you know, within the metaverse environment. Mm-hmm. But it also sounds like he might be more focused on the podcast, longer podcast type stuff as well. So I don't know. I know they've got new hires coming, so maybe there'll be a whole AI sub-channel of BasedAF moving forward.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, I can just see this whole like media type content team. Meta superstar team. We got to find a better word, though. I definitely agree.
Yeah, I'm glad. I really want that to catch on. So anyone who thinks of it, I'll support them.
I guess it's like crypto to Web3, and now NFTs to digital collectibles. What do you guys think of those terms? Do you like them, or do you think they're an improvement? Or I don't mind them myself.
I've never called any of my NFTs a digital collectible. I call them a loss, and I'm happy with it.
Did you say you called them a loss?
Nah, I'm joking. I just meant from like a financial point of view. There's just I'm not gonna pick them. Like that's all.
Yeah.
That was very much a joke.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us are heavy bag holders right now, aren't we? So let's call us.
It depends on the market, but I have been a heavy bag holder. I never sell.
Yeah, I'm a hodler. A forced hodler. I might be burning some stuff for goblins with a Futureverse soon enough. We'll see what happens there.
Oh yeah, I got one of my amulets actually. I only got the bronze one because I did not have anywhere near enough seekers for that, but for anything else. But I'm happy with getting a bronze one. I think there still won't be too many of those. But I kind of talked over your question there. What was your question again? You were talking about not calling them digital collectibles and whatnot, but I guess everyone's struggling with the right sort of terminology to make this more palatable for the general population. Because I don't know, what is the metaverse? Like, I literally
and there's going to be so many more new things and new use cases that come out. I think.
Well, there's.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry. The lag kind of caught me there. I'll let you carry on then.
Oh no, you're fine. Yeah. Like even switching over to the digital collectibles and that. I mean, I kind of feel like we're gonna even find more and more use cases for NFTs, and so like just calling everything an NFT, both in programming, and how they behave on marketplaces and things like that, versus it, and the use case, because there's going to be some that you won't even see, right? Like you'll have it in your phone and you'll use it to open your front door. I have
a really good example of exactly what you're saying there, which is, so in my day job, I sell an enterprise architecture software. That's basically, no one knows what that is, but everyone knows the use cases. Okay, well, fair enough. The point isn't as good then, but
that's dope.
You know what I mean? Not as many people know what it is as a topic, but what people do know is all the use cases it does, which is like, cloud migration, application rationalization. It's all about like, and I think it's very similar. It's like good tech. The people in tech know what it is.
Yeah.
And, people who look to know what it is and it's their business to know what it is, knows what it is, whether it's NFT or whether it's digital collectible. But the use case itself, actually, to be honest, digital collectible is probably more of a use case, but the use case itself, I think, is going to speak for itself. And then it's, the technology is just sitting there in the background making money. And that's what we all hope.
Most people don't know how their internet. Most people don't know how their internet works. They don't know all the pieces behind that.
I have no idea how my internet works.
I'm a network engineer, and I have no idea how it works. So we're on the same page there.
This is what our society is structured on. These are the experts and don't know how it works.
Very platonic, guys. Everyone knows what they don't know here. It's a great chat.
It's so true. You just gotta know that much more than the next guy, and you look like a genius. And it's just like, I actually have no idea what I'm doing. I just know how to Google a bit better than you, maybe, but that's all it is.
Man, it's
that's the whole world. That's really the whole world. Everybody survives on Google.
Yep.
When I learned that about programming.
I'm making jokes about that now. Yeah, I swear.
This is recorded, sir.
Yeah, I just remember that.
Oh man, I'm really interested to see what the next tentpole is going to be for BasedHeads, actually, and the dating show comes out this week too.
Yeah, and there's been a couple of hints on the tent poles, and I don't know if they're going to happen or not. I mean, this week I think is going to be a Metaverse dating show, but that could change. Who knows? One thing that Robin mentioned a couple of months ago was he was thinking Tour de France. So there might be something similar to the Metaverse Marathon, but on a bike, probably using Swift or something like that. Who knows? That might be one. But he also mentioned about trying to raid, is it Marquez Brownlee, the MKBHD Tech YouTube channel? He mentioned that might be another tentpole, and I think they're planning to physically go and like knock on the guy's door or something and try and get into the studio. I think that's the plan. So who knows? Like it's all still, I think this whole project is twisting and turning and evolving before our eyes.
I'd let Robin go wherever he wanted it. You know what I mean? Like he's
100%.
got such a mad vision. It's kind of like, you know, when Sacha Baron Cohen goes and does something weird, you're like, okay, where are you going with that?
You know, it's going to be entertaining one way or another, whether it's good or bad or cringeworthy. It's like you watching.
I think to be honest, like the cringe he does is like, it's cool, you know what I mean? Like I love that whole aesthetic he uses as well, where it's like I don't know, in the first videos I saw of him and stuff, it just reminded me of something embarrassing used to like as a kid, which was like Mindless Self-Indulgence, which was like one of the emo bands I used to listen to, and it was but the aesthetic in their videos was just so bizarre, and it, like, I don't know, it was the first thing I've ever seen like in the modern day where I've been like, I've thought about something I haven't thought about since I was like 14.
Yeah.
His stuff's amazing.
Yeah. He definitely taps into that, and Sacha Baron Cohen is a really good example. Like, I have, you know, I'm like, it's difficult sometimes when I think about things, you know, and I'm like, oh, we could do this, and I'm like, no, wait a minute, is that too Sacha Baron Cohen-y? And the space moves so quick, you know, like if they were actually like moving at the pace that a normal studio works at, and, you know, had that rigidity, I don't think that they would be as successful, because, you know, things are shifting on a dime. Like a day gone from crypto, and you got to reorient yourself.
It's changed in 2 months. It's just the last 2 months since it started. It's changed. You can feel it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And it's really exciting to see that the team is actually that nimble. You know, like that. I was like, oh wow, that's exciting, because it's not like this prescribed thing. And I think that that's going to be the key to his success over time.
I think that's been his frustration in these first sort of 8 to 12 weeks, is just getting that scale down. And you know, he's hiring like crazy and betting these new people in, and they're all sort of clumsily throwing all this cutting edge tech together, trying to make it work. And like, you know, in our perspective, they're still being quite nimble, which is kind of crazy. You know, imagine where they're going to be in 6 to 12 months time, when they do have a full team that's been at it for a year. You know, when they've got the full studio set up, and they don't have to rip it down every time they try to create a new type of content. It could be, you know, it could be pretty crazy to see what they come out with in 12 months. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, even just seeing how all the engineers will gel together better. You know, like they'll have their pathway of working that is they figured out, and this is gonna be cool. It's gonna be exciting, and we have Luke on the short form. You know what's interesting about watching Luke's short form videos is the one video where he was sitting on the train with the VR headset on, pretending like he's taking a meeting. I actually saw a video of that from someone else before awesome. I saw his content.
So someone filming Luke? Someone filming Luke? Or was it? Yeah, I thought that might happen. Like, I noticed them, like people are walking down the street laughing their ass off at Luke, going, what is this nut job doing? Like, there's one of him like on a date in a pub, and then it cuts to him like, you know, basically having virtual sex in the street. So it must have been a good date or something. But people are just laughing.
Not a good day. You had to go have virtual sex.
Oh, yeah, it looked like there was someone else involved. I don't know. So, who knows? But that's the point. Like, that stuff does go viral. Other people organically filming you being an idiot in the metaverse. Yeah, like if you haven't seen the BasedHeads TikTok channel, have a look at it, because there's 4 or 5 videos of Luke. I only saw them, you know, an hour before we started today, and I was pissing myself laughing at all of them. They're hilarious.
Oh, that's great, actually. Yeah, I'll give that a check.
I'm not sure why they haven't put them on the
my little sister's quite big on TikTok, and she'll be mortified to know that this is going to be the moment I set up a TikTok.
Get her to subscribe. We need all the subscribers we can get.
Yeah, how do you even monetize TikTok? Like, there's no ads or anything, is there? I'm not sure how that works.
So she used other stuff first, but now she has like a community of girls. I'm not even at this stage now. I think it's mainly brand deals, but the way she went to like quit her job was by like doing fitness classes during COVID for like the girls who were following her anyway. And then that was enough to like do it full time. And then once she did it full time, she just got enough followers that now it's just like brands and stuff. She's in Bali, having a great time actually at the moment, because she's getting paid to go there. It's brilliant. I'm very happy.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm so jealous. That's amazing.
It's great.
I love that story. That's so great. And Bali of all places.
It's good, yeah. She's in India a couple of weeks ago, which is like where our like we're half Indian, half Irish. So like it was cool. It was the first time any of us had been back as like an adult. She got to go back all like go to a load of weddings and stuff.
Oh, I love Indian weddings. They're so beautiful.
They're so gosh, yeah.
There's so much to them. I love it so much. I was watching a documentary on them recently, and I just sat there and watched it for like 2 hours because it's just eye candy. It's so gorgeous, so beautiful.
The actual weddings are like 4 days now, so. But no, they're great. They're great crack. They're actually unreal. Anyway, as always, I digress.
Yes. Well, we're coming up on an hour now. I'd like to keep it short. Does anyone have any other things they would like to chat about? Any crazy AI? I feel like every week that we come here, we're going to have so much to talk about just on AI, like Robin said.
Totally.
And if you haven't had a chance, make sure you go check out the YouTube. You can come join us in the server. We're usually chatty like this in the server too.
Amazing. No, it was great to get to be on the space. Great to hear everything, all the updates about the project and everything else. Thanks for sharing all that, Gerry and Michelle.
Thanks for popping up, mate. It's been great.
Pleasure.
Yeah, we like to have everybody up. So all of you guys that didn't get a chance to come up today, please tune in next week and, just raise your hand and come on up. We like to keep it an open forum. Get a lot of interesting voices up.
For sure. I think Aurora was also hoping to join us maybe in future weeks going forward. So it'd be interesting to hear her take on things. I think she's doing a bit of a digital nomad thing at the moment, I think she's in Portugal right now, which
I live in Lisbon actually. I moved there for that stuff as well, where I work for an English company in Portugal. It's amazing.
I
wish I had them.
Sorry, Michelle.
I was just rambling.
Yeah, me too. I definitely it seems to be attracting a lot of Web3 people. I'm guessing around the the tax laws and whatnot, but very interesting stuff. And I got a mate who moved over there from Australia as well to just sort of try and make a bit more of himself in Web3. So quite interesting to see how many people are going over that way.
No, 100%. And if you're ever over, it'd be great to have you over anyway. And hope you guys all have a great rest of the evening and everything, or rest of the day on your side, I'd say.
You as well.
Fantastic. Nice. Well, I guess we might wrap things up. Michelle, what do you think?
I think we're good. Natural close.
No worries. Sounds good. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. It was a bit of a slow start, but we were clashing with a few other spaces and we're still finding our way as a community. So thanks very much for joining us. Keep your eye on all the BasedAF socials. There'll be plenty more stuff to drop this week. And we'll try and meet again at the same time next week. So thanks very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Chat soon. See you.
Yes. Ciao.
Okay.
Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoy this content, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and maybe consider watching one of my other videos. Bunnies up!